I recently got a little mini PC and I am testing out operating systems to use in my home lab. I've gone through Zima, Proxmox, TrueNAS, Unraid. Today I'm going to look at OpenMediaVault. And if you're keen-eyed, you'll see that Hex OS has just entered the fray. I'll be doing that in the next video. OpenMediaVault is a straightforward, simple operating system that really focuses on storage. It has some features where you can run containered app, but I'm going to tell you now, I spent 30 minutes trying to buggerize around with it, and there are better systems that are free that do that better. OMV is, I think it's really kind of built for small systems. So if you were building like a Pi NAS or something, if you had one of the Radstar headers, this would be a great system to use for that. If you've got low-powered systems, but a number of drives, again, OpenMediaVault would be a very good option. As you can see, it does not require particularly high specs to run. So great for older hardware. Like everything else, you download the ISO, flash it using Balena Etcher, and it does have some additional options. You can run it from onto a dedicated drive. If you are putting the OS onto a dedicated drive, make sure that drive is like an NVMe or it is small, because once that OS is on the drive, you're basically boned for any other space. So don't use the biggest drive to put the OS on. Installation was quick. Boot, install, access over the network. The default username and password are admin and OpenMediaVault. When you first log in, you will get a pretty basic dashboard. I think one of the reasons it will run on smaller things is it's not built for all of the la-di-da fancy pants stuff. It is really straightforward storage management tool. It doesn't do RAID, it doesn't do pooling, it doesn't do much out of the bat. You do have to install plugins. So in the system, go to plugins and you can start to add additional features that you want to expand out the capacity or the functionality of the device. I will touch on it. So it does have a Kubernetes plugin. The Kubernetes plugin does allow you to kind of install some containerized application. It is finicky. There are other systems that are a lot easier to use. I really wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't bother with it. So the first thing is I need to set up a file system. You get a number of options. You can see that there is no RAID here. As I said, you need a plugin. Rather than trying to get in all the plugins, let's just do something basic. So in file systems, add a file system. BTRFS is if you want things like snapshots and stuff like that. ext4, great for Linux file systems, reliable, well-tested. JFS and F2FS are kind of older, for older systems. I wouldn't really use any of this. And if this is going to be using like large file systems, then use XFS. So I'm going to create the file system for that one drive. I'm just going to assume it's small. Like I said, you can choose what you want. And then when that's done, file system is ready to go. Then you need to mount it. I think this is mounting. Then it'll tell you to apply the changes. Now we have that drive mounted in a file system, but can't do anything yet. Then we need to go to folders, create a folder, select the file system. I'm going to call this demo. It will give us a path, hit save. Now I have a file system and apply the changes. So now I have folders. Now I can go into my services and I can do an NFS. That's really for Linux, SMB and CFS. That'll work on everything. So go with SMB, like Windows and Linux and Mac. So I'm going to create a SMB folder, select the shared folder I have created, and pretty much go from there. Again, apply the changes, and that folder is now accessible on the network. So that's basically it. It's simple, it's easy to use, it's very basic, it has low overheads. If you had, like I said, a small low-spec device, this is a good option for that. I would really say this is a thing for backups, especially as it has rsync, so you can sort of automate backups from other systems into a drive. You would have to install a plugin to make a pool or to set up RAID. So there is some finicky stuff there. I would say beginner, advanced, like beginner to intermediate, you could work this out. Is this the right thing for a little Dell Optiplex? No, I don't think so. But I do have plans to get a Raspberry Pi and the Radstar hat and do a Pi Vault. And this would be the right option for something like that.